Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Peacemaker Podcast here on DC Studios Podcast here on Multiverse of Color. I'm one of the hosts, Andy B, as always, and with me we have Vanessa, Mike, and our special guest, Kyle. How are we all doing today?
Doing great. Feeling
great.
Good.
So, Kyle, because you don't see, I don't think you see it on your end. Every time the theme is playing, Mike will get up and start. I don't know what the moves are called. I'm too old to know this, but like he will start dancing and then just as the song is about to finish,
accusations.
I have screenshots this time. I have
AI.
screenshots. It's not AI. What would I do with AI on StreamYard? But we guys, we're here to talk about the latest episode of Peacemaker Season 2. But first, with some quick news. First of all, Matt Reeves reveals that finally, things are finally moving in the right direction. Robert Pattinson has read the script. He's excited. They're going to start filming next April/early May. And I'm just so glad finally that we're out of this whole funk of, oh my god, is the Batman 2 going to get canceled? Oh my god, is it never going to happen? Oh my god, is it now going to merge with the DCU? Da, 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 da. Vanessa, how are you feeling? How are you just feeling about the Batman 2 in general? Because we don't talk about, we've been talking about very much DCU over the last year, but we haven't talked very much about, Elseworlds property and so on. So how are you feeling about the next installment?
I was excited like 2 years ago when they announced it. When they announced it was happening, and now they're like, it's coming out in 2066. We're actually not filming until 2020. Like, it's like, I can't get excited. Like, I'm sorry. I need to focus on things that are actually like going to be happening. Like the fact that we're getting the Man of Tomorrow sequel the same year as the Batman 2 sequel, and one of them was announced like 2 minutes ago, and the other one was announced before my child was born, is fucking nuts.
Wait, what?
It was announced like, no, because 2019, my Ivy was born in 2022. So yes, the sequel was literally announced before. Wait, no.
I was in college.
Wait, when did Batman come out? Oh my god.
It came out
Wait, no. Okay, so they
2022.
announced it. Never mind.
They announced it at DC Fandom, and then
so anyway, it's
yeah.
been as long as my daughter has been alive, okay, that this movie has had a sequel and has not come out, and it's coming out the same year as Man of Tomorrow. Great, I'm excited that like we're getting lots of DC that year, but I can't get excited about a movie I've been excited about for so long. It feels like, but I'm still excited. So how about you guys?
Mike, how you feeling? The Batman Part 2.
I'm feeling that I'm just waiting to see content, and I've been now in this waiting period to the point where now my patience is run out. Not because I'm impatient; it's just called delayed gratification, and honestly, it has expired a little bit after the Penguin. I think the Penguin was a good appetizer, to kind of get me into be excited for Part 2. But if Penguin didn't come out, I would have felt like this way like a year ago. But luckily, we're seeing the script here, but then we're seeing Clayface getting, the shooting, and then other Batman-related stuff that's not Batman connected, and another Batman associated, and also casting rumors of another Batman, and who's going to play that version of Batman, but not the other version of Batman we're still waiting for. It's ridiculous. I much as a DC fan I also like consistency and not, playing with my patience or my intelligence. So I just want to wait until I see, the film come out, and we just go from there.
What about you, Kyle?
I got two grumpy Gus's on the podcast today. My goodness.
Exactly. We're tired.
Talk to me about tired. Both my kids were alive before Batman even came out. So,
my kids are still swimming.
There you go. I think it's funny because obviously it's a sign of how good the Batman was that we are eagerly awaiting the sequel. But what's I find equally as interesting is there's been part of the problem, I think, for the delayed gratification or just frustration with the sequel taking as long as it has been is in the midst of that, of course, we got the DCU announcement, we got the slate, and then there was this debate as to what was going to happen, and I don't want to have that, but that was a part of a lot of the conversation. What I find really funny, though, is I'm actually much more okay with waiting. When you look at for the most part, within the comic book genre of films that start off really great in their franchises. A perfect example of this would be the Spider-Verse franchise. It's something a lot of people are complaining about for Beyond, but this revisionist history is ridiculous. Into the Spider-Verse, 2018, everybody. Across the Spider-Verse, 2023. Last I checked my math, that was 5 years. And the fact that Across the Spider-Verse, at least in my humble opinion, came out swinging as, oh, you thought Into was the best Spider-Man movie of all time? Hold my beer. And Matt Reeves has only proven with his filmography, it's fascinating because he came into the Apes franchise, taking over the second film with very little prep time, which is not something normally he does, and he absolutely nailed it. And then War for the Planet of the Apes was just as compelling, if not more of an epic film. So the fact that he's taken his time with this, to me, is a good sign, because with the Elseworlds setup happening, we know that, and I mean, I have my theories as to who's actually working on Batman Brave and the Bold, but you would need some level of coordination, and for the DCU Batman to be started whatsoever, even from a story spec standpoint, you would need to know what Matt's doing. Not to take into any of the real world stuff, but if you've looked into it, Matt had some stuff going on, which I know people don't want to hear as an excuse, but real life is real life. And I think it's great we did get Penguin when we did, but on the flip side, I think everybody would agree, it might have agitated people more because of how great Penguin was, and you're like, all right, when do I get 2 years from now? So I'm excited for this. I've never been somebody who thought our bats made any sense in the DCU, at least with what they pitched to us in that very first Gods and Monsters press conference. So I'm excited it's going to be happening, but also I'm not somebody who's mad with the delays, because to me this just feels like old hat, because COVID was affecting the release date of the Batman pretty much every 6 months. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad this movie's going to happen, and I think the fact that they've been able to stew on it longer, to go back to our food metaphors with episode 4, I think it's only going to be more flavorful.
I hate you. Everyone talks about food around me the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, y'all just want me to suffer. Like, just so our listeners know, because I'm getting the surgery, I have to be on this limited calorie diet that is basically just drinking. No eating, nothing. And every day people being like, oh my god, I had this pasta for lunch. Like, oh my god, this salads were delicious. I'm like, you bitch, I don't get to eat. And like, oh, is that still happening? I'm so sorry. Is what they will go. So like, so if you seem like rolling my eyes whenever my co-hosts talk about food, it's just because I envy them. So no, but I'm excited, and I'm hoping that like there are no more delays. You know, like, whatever has happened. You know, I kind of just want to see filming just happen as soon as possible, so we can get past the whole idea that they're delaying it because they are going to merge it with DCU. It's like, no, it's just like, also I like the idea of having Elseworlds properties. Like, it's fun, kind of have these things that are disconnected. And also think about it this way: we get to eat as comic book fans of having, you know, this kind of like grounded, gritty Batman franchise with Matt Reeves' vision. And then we get to have the fantastical Batman James Gunn's universe, like, at the same time. That's pretty cool. So I'd rather just have that and just sticking to that. You know, and like, yeah, I know there was a little mishap going on with at the Clayface set this week, because someone had put like a sticker of Patterson's Batman logo on a trash can on the set of Clayface, and of course, you know, James Gunn gets bombarded with that question on threads, and then he will say like, yeah, that's mostly from the art department or something. It's like, I didn't sign off of that. And it's, you know, he's a CEO of, you know, a big studio. Like, he's not gonna have time to review every single little minutiae. And also, it's very possible that someone did it as a prank just to get this reaction from fans, thinking like, oh my god, it is merging. So like, you know, until it happens, I don't see, you know, like, we're gonna have a separate Batman, we're gonna have a separate, you know, Bat family with all these other characters, and that's the end of it. And then the only other thing, Matt Reeves, because right now as we're recording it, Sunday, September 14th, and the Emmys are happening as we speak, so we will hopefully find out, in, you know, while we're recording, if Kristen Milioti and Colin Farrell does win at the Emmys. But Matt Reed also said that they had started talking about the idea of a season 2, if it makes sense for for HBO, it makes sense for them, but also looking at the idea of maybe other characters in the Batman universe to do a spin-off of. Does anyone here want season 2 at this point, or would you rather have enough?
No.
Of the Penguin?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want another season of Penguin. I would like another installment of this like Gotham villain verse, which would be fun.
Yeah, a Catwoman series.
That would be fun. I think it's a really cool series. Lauren LeBlanc, right? Her name Lauren LeBlanc is she's just
LeFranc.
That's right. LeBlanc. The same thing. It's one letter off. Relax. Anyway, she's like incredible. I love the way she took Reeves' original vision and just like ran with it. So I'd love to see her doing that for like other Bat villains. So I don't need another Penguin season 2, and I don't think Colin Farrell wants to put that makeup on again, even though it is award-winning because it already won.
I don't want Penguin 2. You brought up a Catwoman series. Long Halloween, I think for most comic book fans would know, is such an influence on the Batman. It did have a spinoff, Catwoman When in Rome, which seems like an obvious continuation because based on reports, it doesn't seem like she's going to be in it. So I would love for the TV shows to add additional material and not feel like required viewing. Because when we get to the Batman Part 2, things will have moved forward, but Matt Tomlinson and Reeves are good enough writers that I don't think it'll be like, well, in Penguin Episode 5, you need to know about Vic or whatever. So I think that stuff will work out in the end. So if they continue to expand the epic crime saga, which is what I believe they're wanting to call it, it'll be interesting to see if we do get more spin-offs in that world, because if Part 3 takes as long, then there's definitely time for another TV show in there.
Well, with that said, let's talk about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 5, which, holy crap, is the shortest episode of the season so far. I did not know it was only like 37 minutes. And I'm like, in the age of streaming, where there's what's happening. So we pick up right where we left off from last week with Christopher going to pay Hardcore a visit. And of course,
that's not where we start.
Isn't that where we start?
No, we start at Rick Flag Jr.'s funeral.
I thought that came Again,
Mike said before we started, what happened? And Vanessa went, hear the notes. Bang, 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 bang.
Okay, so we get a flashback.
Yeah.
Yes.
The best part of the episode.
That he died?
No. Anyway, we talked about, I feel bad for Andy, but I'm just going to take over, Andy. You sit there. The best part of this episode is the continuation from the stuff that matters. If nobody checked out episode 4 thoughts, we definitely had a lot of them, but the continuation on expanding on the relationships that seem to be fundamental to these characters. Like, it's retroactive, but I don't think, at least out of the 4 of us, we were like, no, don't do that. When you make the characters more interesting, that's what we're here for. So getting to see more of that relationship was something that I appreciated. And just seeing the blind focus that Rick Flag Sr. has had for conceivably years at this point. Because I believe that timeline-wise, the Suicide Squad is still supposed to be in 21 or 22. So it's still been at least 2 years since then with all of the stuff that's happened to him, including Creature Commandos and now this. And then we get Amelia waiting at the park.
Yeah, the funeral scene was amazing. I love the conversation between Rick and Amelia. The relationship between Senior and Amelia and Harcourt is interesting, and probably one of the most interesting things to me, because he literally knows he's manipulating her, but I don't think she realizes he's manipulating her. And because she is in love with his son, and he knows that, and it's just so, everything about the relationship is icky to me, but written really well, in a way that I'm I want to know more. Is Amanda the one who actually blackballed her, or is Rick the one holding her back and then using that to manipulate her into doing exactly what he wants, which is getting Chris into his which kind of ended up working, but I think Rick is so slimy. I think there's just I think it's just so good. It's just so well done and so well acted, and any little bit of backstory to Rick and like Rick's family, both Ricks, is nice to me. I like it.
Yeah, I noticed whenever he was saying, like when he keeps correcting her, saying, please call me Rick. It's like that's kind of like emotional manipulation on because his son is also named Rick. So when he says that to her, he wants her to see his son and so that she will actually like tell him like who killed my son and whatever and so on. And it's
really interesting because she never called Rick Rick. She called Rick Jr. Daddy. Like, they didn't show us that, but I mean, I think that's the implication.
And for more of Carol's fanfiction, follow him at... I'm kidding.
Wait, she did? I missed that. Anyway.
Watch episode 4 again.
No, I'm never doing that again. No, like, it's gonna, if I rewatch season 2, it's going to be like 135 and then 135 and then whatever comes afterwards. But yeah, it's it's nice to getting more exposition of like because even in the when this was DCEU, they didn't give us that much backstory on Rick Flag Jr. or like because again he was in 2016 Suicide Squad, then the Suicide Squad. I don't think he was in anything in between that. So yeah, like it's nice to get a little more context.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Mike?
I thought again the emotional element of Amelia and Rick Flag. Again having the flashback about the funeral to adds more dramatic weight in terms of what's happening in this episode with Amelia meeting with Chris. Because now it would put in her shoes in terms of her feeling conflicted of her stance of why she has to do this when we're trying to erase like this relationship you built with the with Team Peacemaker with the last season and a half. And I feel it feels conflicting in terms of what she's gonna do, but ultimately she makes the right decision. But it's good that we at least see that pacing beginning the episode, get that climactic when everybody's trying to attack Chris and everything and subdue him and everything like that. So yeah.
And then we get to the big confrontation. I remember the first time I watched it, I was really like, "Oh my god, is this the big episode where like, oh, our hardcore is gonna turn on him? Like, is this like the turning point?" But of course, she's trying to save him in her own way. We see more of Sasha's cyborgness, which is. Yeah, it's fucking cool. It is really cool seeing her like she was about to kill Chris, and she does her. So wait, so in the correct me, Vanessa, she's an OMAC in the comics, right? Or she's a cyborg?
She's an android. She's not an OMAC specifically.
Okay. So what do we think about that whole confrontation and like,
it's terrible. I'm sorry. This episode continues the trend of episode 4. Which is, it feels like Office Space in the DCU. I understand that Argus is probably not running at full capacity, but it still looks like they've got 3 guys, and you're the random extras. Like, this park has nobody there in the middle of the day, and it's just... I know we talked about directors and whatnot from last time, but it's one of the most frustrating aspects of getting back into a series like this, which is you have episodes that really feel like they spent every dollar so effectively. Mm-hmm. And then in these last 2, it looks like they took all the wrong lessons from the cinematography of the Avengers in 2012, where it just looks like not even cable, because that would be a compliment. It looks like network TV. It's like, look, big place with 4 people.
Yeah.
And it loses any cinematic tension. The terror in that sequence, any dramatic tension is completely removed. You have, first of all, not the least intimidating shaft of all time with Tim Meadows, just walking down with a Hawaiian shirt. And no one is, one person is fleeing in terror. There's no screaming in the audio mix to make it sound like there's more people around. And then you have Chris Smith, Peacemaker, just pick up the one guy. I don't remember what that guy's nickname was. It probably wasn't funny. And You just have them circling, and it doesn't feel like anything important is going to happen. This feels like they had 1 hour of filler, and they stretched it over 83 minutes, I think, because what were we, 48, 37. And then 37 minutes? And it's unfortunate because even having seen the episode more than once, you have an idea of what's going on based on Chris's part of the story. The most significant part of this season has been Chris's internal exploration of his dynamic in the relationships he has on Earth 1 and seeing what the potential is. The grass is literally greener, or maybe it's not green on the other side. And seeing what he could or couldn't have is a really great internal struggle, specifically with a character that I'll give the first season of the show credit, somebody you now empathize with. The sign of writing a flawed protagonist is regardless of them doing something wrong, you're rooting for them to succeed no matter what they're doing, even if that could be technically something heinous. But he's such in this emotional state that anytime we see that stuff from him, at least I think based on our opinion from last episode, that stuff's great. The Flag and Amelia stuff is interesting, as you pointed out, Vanessa. You're trying to sort of figure out, like, what's the modus operandi behind what people are doing. And then you get like, hey, I'm in a park for 20 minutes. And then it's like, I'm going to judo kick him. And then it goes back more to more Office Space. Like, I'm expecting Gary Cole to be like, is it done? Like, it's so stupid. And I hate feeling that way because I don't want to.
I want to correct myself. Sasha Bordeaux is equipped in the comics with OMAC cybernetics. So she's not an OMAC herself, but she has like OMAC parts of her body.
OMAC adjacent.
Yeah. OMAC adjacent, yeah. She was like Black Queen and Checkmate and stuff, and was at one point like Bruce Wayne's bodyguard. Anyway. Yeah, I like this episode better than episode 4, but I'm at a loss as to why they won't fill up the rest of the episode with like other characters, like what's going on with like more stuff with ads and like more stuff with Vigilante.
You didn't like her being a hooker on the phone for 5 minutes?
No, I'm tired of you sexualizing black women. I'm so sick of this.
Well, Mike, what did you say last week?
Listen.
It's frustrating. The whole thing was a joke, and I was like, "This is stupid. This is her whole storyline. That's it. That's what we're doing." And then that, like, I don't know. I just feel like there's so much wasted opportunity in both 4 and 5, and I know it's because they stuffed so much in the last 3 episodes. We don't know for sure because we don't have the episodes. They won't give us the screeners for those episodes, but I have to assume they pushed so much into those episodes that 4 and 5 suffered because of it. And
here's what you do: 6 episodes.
Yeah, like either shorten it or give us more stuff with their other characters. What is Vigilante? We can see him on his job once. What is Vigilante doing at any other point? Is he not killing anyone anymore? What is happening? What has happened to the other characters? Or we can also see what's going on in the other Earth when when Chris isn't there. Why can't we see what's going on in the other Earth when Chris isn't there? Like, I feel like there's so much missed opportunity for what was missing on this episode. It's so crazy to me that we went from 3 being fully in the other Earth, like hyped up, so much stuff, and then we come back to this. Like, it just doesn't make a case for how like our Earth being awesome. Because our episodes have been sucky, and then just like going in from that to the more dumb Eagle Hunter shit. Like, this episode is frustrating. Like, and Leota, like, I just want better for her. Like, we deserve better writing for both them, and for both Vigilante and for both Leota. Like, they deserve better. The writing for them was so much better in the season 1. What is going on? All right, I'm done.
Yeah. So again, Vigilante literally is at a side character where I think you could have taken him in a very interesting direction of not just being the dumb best friend who's seeking, validation or seeking companionship. When this person's literally a psychopath, let's explore that. How do he become Vigilante? Like, the character Vigilante in the comics is vastly different, but yet, let's see if there's some similarity to his origin. Because this is a tragic character. This is not let me put on a costume and let's just, and we see some stuff in the trailer about then we're gonna see his mom and stuff like that in there. But again, it's nothing to expand what was established in season one. Especially like we rarely see him in costume in this entire season. And it's really pissing me off.
Has he been in costume at least once this year?
Right, and he just been in in these sneakers and damn it's just like it is a really cool costume, and I'm just like, listen, like, yeah, you pay for this shit, and then Ada buy it, like, with the whole escort ad and stuff, and they're on the phone call, it's just stupid. And it's just like it's so dumb. Like I'm watching, like I show my wife episode 4 and stuff, and she just like,
why'd you do that?
Stuff that Leo is doing, like when she's talking to Chris about, hey, God put you here on this earth here, and whether you think the grass is greener, the demons, whatever, and the burdens you have, they're going to carry inside you. Like, great, that's Oscar-winning dialogue, and delivery. But yet we just go right back to, let me just put an ad from, from the ad, and if someone called me thinking they're paying for escort for in call or out call, whatever, it just. It frustrates me. And the whole Eagle thing, I don't know if this is a connection to a primal phase of Animal Kingdom in the DC universe. Like we're gonna have a Beast Boy arc and Teen Titans. We got Animal Man, Vixen down the line, whatever. In some way, we're gonna try to connect all the fucking animals in the DC universe, and Eagle is on the top of the totem pole. Like, make this make sense. I'm sick of this, and the whole thing with the pack and all this, and it's being destroyed by a bunch of, like, this is giving Dr. Dolittle 2. Like, when they try to stop him from deforestation of the forest and everything, all the squirrels and the bears and the chipmunks and stuff, they showed up and teamed up like the Avengers. And it's just like, no, I don't think it's funny. I just think it's uninteresting. And then to the point of, to your point, Kyle, with the editing, is this just like, okay, every time I see Judo Master, I just get pissed. It's like, this should not be happening. Like, this, no fight of this is realistic at all. And on top of that, the Argus, team and everything is just like, y'all a bunch of idiots. And just like, it's not even like, oh, we're the FBI, we're CIA. No, we're the top of, we're Argus, right? No, like Shield in the MCU was smarter than this stuff. Even Phase 1, like, they didn't have they may have their dumb moments, but just because they're the government, but not like, oh, they're idiots. We're licensed, trained professionals, and we're still idiots.
It's a group of dads. That's what it feels like. It's like fanny pack dads who have no idea, but not like millennial dads, like Gen X or baby boomer dads. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, but I to your point, I think that they're saving all of their budget, and it's almost like actually suffering from a Wednesday season 2 problem, where it's like I'm seeing that there's a lot of things going on, and some things like, okay, you could cut this whole storyline out and then shorten these episodes, and then knows that the last 2 episodes was all visual effects heavy, and so I think that's what they're just saving for. And again, I don't know what's in store for next week's episode. I just hope, like, listen, James, I'm trusting you, but like this better be like the best, like, Citizen Kane level, let's turn this mess upside down, and like, Emmys, just give it to him, right? Like level good, right? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm frustrated. And then with John, again, I think as much as we get praises of John's performance, what James was talking about before, we saw season 2, I think it does a disservice the fact that he actually is expanding his range as an actor, in particular with this character, but yet it does no sense of service to his performance, because you is overshadowed by all the foolishness and everything, to a point that you can't even give the credit that this man is actually putting some effort into his character, who has started out as an idiot, and so it's just like, that's growth, even just not in terms of the writing, but in terms of his performance. And I just wish they just would service that for him. But again, we got 3 episodes, so who knows?
Yeah, those 3 finals better be. I mean, I guess I don't know, like, what could it be that is so earth-shattering that it's like that we can't even see him in advance. That's like because I mean, obviously Superman's going to be one of those things, because at this point it's just ridiculous how badly they're hiding it. yeah, I feel bad for Daniel Brooks this year, and I'm hoping that whatever. I mean, like the final scene gave me some hope that because now, because one of the best things that that works with the show is whenever all the cast are together. That's when all of the characters work together. They elevate it even higher for me, and I'm hoping that's going to be the red thread throughout these final 3 episodes, because having to listen to her talk to some no voice on the phone, and then like even being like, "Oh, that sounds like an escort," and it's like, why the fuck are we doing this? Yeah, I had even thought about the idea that Adrian has not even been in the costume all season, and that's bizarre to me. So, yeah, I want to talk about Michael Rooker's character finally getting killed. That was awesome. All the Eagles.
The introduction of these people within the context of the show that are specifically supposed to be horrible people to our protagonist. And we've talked about the trauma with Augie and Chris and his brother, and we're getting a perspective on that within Earth 2. And we talked about it in episode 4, and what it doesn't make sense to me at all, because there are no good jokes with Red Saint Wild at all. And so he's made fun of. Great. Nobody else thinks those things are funny. And then he just goes off in his own little side quest that everybody would skip. So you don't like this guy because he is the epitome of cultural appropriation. And then he's just killed by birds. So it's not, it's disgusting because he's being killed by birds. So like the payoff in the show is ridiculous because the character added nothing to the narrative. You can cut him and nothing changes. And there's no character reward. Like when Chris killed Augie in season 1, that tension and that scene between the two of them is absolutely insane with the two of those actors, and seeing I would say the resistance to even do it, because even though this person was awful to him, he still doesn't want to do it. And it's only when pushed to the brink that he ultimately does that. And then we get a great scene, Mike, you brought up, of like John Cena, like completely falling apart. But the continual narrative crutch of just having awful people, and there's supposed to be this reward that there's comeuppance, is a part of this show that I'm tired of because it's cheap and it's lazy. So just having a character that serves no narrative purpose, to me, it's even more insulting.
Yeah.
Especially how short this episode even was, because I'm like, okay, so he's been in what, 3 episodes now since he showed up?
Yeah, he showed up in 3.
Yeah, so 3, 4, 5. And this was, this is screen how we could have given to Daniel Brooks, even more to Economist, even to Hardcore, like to Adrian. Like, I don't know what happened this season.
You could have actually had an indigenous character to add another instance of showing the DC universe, just like Marvel, does have a wide range of characters. There's somebody you could have had there that would have had a different perspective. And as much as I don't like his character, Tim Meadows just giving stereotypes, at least he's been consistent with his bit. And the humors come from everyone being like, you're an idiot. Like nobody likes all of the stereotypical nicknames he's giving people, like Ginger Cool and all that stuff. And
I forgot, we didn't talk about that last week. We didn't talk about how Economist just literally spit in his face. Like, as I was watching, I'm like, that's so fucking funny. Go on.
So to have somebody just fill a slot, and this is something that I try not to be overly critical of, because I know James has been very public with he wants to work with his friends, and he has a no piece of garbage like part of his life when he wants to work professionally. And I get that.
Yep.
But at least when he's brought some of the other people in for stuff, he lets them have some purpose to the story. The most recent one, of course, would be getting oh my goodness, Nathan Fillion, who is like a weird muscle security guard dude in Guardians 3, into Guy Gardner. And being I was hesitant for that, and being like, okay, and then you get into it and you're like, oh, I get it. I know why you did this. from an outside standpoint, even having seen the show, I don't understand why you brought Rooker in for this. Because it's like, hey, wouldn't it be funny to give Michael Rooker braids and have him say gibberish? Like, no, it's not funny.
No.
I think one of you mentioned last week, the last one we recorded last, that he was just like called up kind of last minute and added to the story. What I'm thinking is like, my assumption is that there was something else written. They couldn't do it for whatever reason, and they had to do this last minute, or this is like some sort of back.
But you can cut the character like clean slate, and it wouldn't affect the story.
I feel like that's what happened, is like this was something else was supposed to be in its place, and this just got added in because legitimately half of the characters don't even know who Red Saint Wild is. He died alone, but like Eagly can't tell Chris what happened. Like Chris will never know this happened. It's like the stupidest thing. Like
Argus is never gonna know because they didn't even care he disappeared.
Just like it felt so like it just genuinely feels pointless in a show that has 8 episodes that's literally setting up according to James, it's the prequel to Man of Tomorrow. I know he's like just help promoting whatever, but like this does not feel like this.
No.
This is what's the prequel to Man of Tomorrow. This bird shit eating dude that died alone in the jungle. This is your god. Okay. So anyway, yeah. This is dumb. It's all dumb. They're stupid. Then Judo Master following him in to the fucking thing. Like the only purpose I see is that Judo Master's gonna get there and realize, hey, I'm the only person of color in this universe. This is the only. Yep. Because what the fuck? Why are we bringing Judo Master back? Everyone's like, oh, Judo Master's so cool. What's his purpose again? What's his purpose?
I really thought he died in season 1. I really thought he died. So I'm just like, why? It. Yeah, I do want to talk about Rick and Christopher. Rick going at Christopher.
The interrogation.
Or police, not police brutality, government brutality. Wait, is there a term for government brutality? It's like
it would be classified under like it's. I mean, they're not specifically police, but it would be under that. It would be.
Yeah. Okay, so government corruption. Let's just say that. Chris, he's feeling remorse. He's like, I regret. He's literally trying to say that he regretted doing it, and Rick Flag Sr. is just going at it and at it and at it, and of course, Hardcore knows like this is not going to end well. So she has economists. What was it? Bookham? Is that what it's called?
Bookham.
Like Bookham? Yeah.
Yeah, they have to put him in the files.
Yeah, put him in the system. Yeah. If he wasn't in the system, he would have been just like off the books. But because he put him in the system, then they have to get a bench. There's a warrant and all. Yeah, it was like basically putting paperwork, a paper trail when he didn't want one.
Yeah, but with 3 people working in the office. Like Economos is there, Sasha's there, Tim Meadows is there. No one else. Nobody else works here.
There's more people that work in the other Argus on the other Earth than the one on our Earth. Like the other
There's
Argus,
more people that work in the Arrow Argus than work in this show's Argus.
Yeah.
And that had CW money.
CW budget, not HBO
in
budget.
Vancouver, my country, and they had more people.
Counterpoint, what if in-universe reason, what if Rick likes to keep it bare bones because he's he's doing illegal shit like beating up in people.
Maybe. How many people we see via Creature Commandos?
I'm trying to be positive here. I think that was a beautifully. Sorry, I think it's a great scene between the two. Like I said, like I don't like Frank Grillo as a person, but I think he's a great actor. I think he's like, I don't care what your opinion. I don't like him. I like there is no discrimination against Italian Americans. Get over yourself. But like come on. But I think he's really good at playing Rick Flag Sr. And I think like his interactions with Hardcore, with Sasha, and with Chris in this episode, just really, really good shit. Like he's just so he's letting his son's death corrupt him further as a government official, and he's a type of federal person that I fucking hate. Like he's the type of person that'll disappear someone in a black van, and you'll never hear their family will never hear from him again. That's the type of shit that we are supposed to be against. And so like I think it's interesting, kind of like what the show is not really framing him as like a hero or like, oh, he's a heartbroken dad, we have to be on his side. They're like, no, he's kind of there's other characters that are kind of like, oh, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Like I think it's nice that they're not showing his behavior as something to aspire to or something to root for. Like they're like, yeah, he's his son,
unless you're Sasha.
Unless you're Sasha, because she wants to bone the dude, and I'm like, it's very clear they have energy there, and I'm like, of course, we can't have any woman on the show that isn't just like, here, just throw a man at her, like that. It's
Ads doesn't have a dude. Ads doesn't have a dude,
but she's still getting sexualized by men against her will. It's so annoying. It's very.
That's the first time we even hear Tim Meadows' character talk. That he sexualizes.
Also, he like sexualizes her. He sexualizes her, and the guy on the phone, like it's. She even though she's a lesbian, they're still like there's no, she can't exist without being like the male gaze just like all over. Like, can we just have a single woman on the show not be like tied down to a man or like fucking some guy or like fucking two guys or fucking Enchantress's man or fucking getting a sexualized, like it's exhausting. Like it is a little exhausting. The women in this DC universe seem to just like it's a little annoying.
Rick is her boss. Rick is her boss. Like this is like not.
That's why I'm saying Rick is a slimy motherfucker because it's gross. Like there's too many power dynamics there that are weird. He's in charge of he's in charge of Argus entirely. Like, dude.
But it's only 3 people now, so it's fine.
He's fucking all of them.
I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure Patty Spivot from season 2 of The Flash would love to work here. I think she would fit right in here.
Fuck Patty Spivot.
Yeah, police brutality Patricia, as I call her.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Any other? Wait, I don't know where we have.
I think.
I mean, Mike, you go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that to all you guys' points you were saying about the female characters. It was a common thing. Unfortunately, I've been seeing people who were harsh criticizing Superman for was certain the side female characters like
Eve,
Tessmacher, the
Cat Grant,
Ted Grant, and everything. Like live my
no
dad.
Cat, no, not Ted Grant. Cat Grant, not Ted.
Excuse me, Cat Grant. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Though, can anybody tell me an interesting version of Cat Grant? She doesn't exist. Like
Cat Grant is great.
Great. Yes. Thank you.
When you could actually see Callista, because there was so much Vaseline on that damn lens when she showed up, you had to squint to see what was happening.
I thought she was a great Cat Grant.
I
Cat
agree.
Grant, where she wasn't vapid and her tits weren't the focus.
Exactly.
But it goes back to the sexualization of female characters, or at least side characters in James Gunn stories. We've been seeing a unfortunate trend, and now I've been the one that's been arguing against it because, like, hey, I'm like, well, look at Lois Lane, look at Gamora, look at Mantis, look at
Hawkgirl.
Hawkgirl, right? But then she's talking about her butt. It's like it's her butt's getting too big in the first episode, so it's like. So again, I'm not trying to be like a nitpicking every single thing. Again, I think I have a frustration with this show because it's episodic that I'm seeing it consistently with characters that I know on a foundational level. Like James, you've done Adebayo better than this. I've seen you done Amelia.
Literally season 1.
Amelia. Mm-hmm. This was. I mean it. Anyway, I'm trying, man.
The significant part of this story, at least in episode 5 for me, was the beginning and the end. We get more of the relationship between Flag and Harcourt, and then the momentum to Chris leaving. Because it's funny, in an 8-episode season, you would assume somewhere in 4 or 5, you're going to have a massive shift in the dynamic of the story, whether that be a massive rift between characters or some quite literally separation physically or metaphysical, however you want to present that. Some challenge for them to overcome. If you Google, everybody listening, Google The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. It's all in there. None of this is new. And the momentum for this, the biggest disappointment for me is these 2 episodes, as opposed to being filler, which you probably should have more so shifted that for 2 and 3, there should feel like there's momentum going into what could be a break if this was back on network TV or even premier cable TV. But we've only really got enough to tell you, and Chris is trapped. But there's not going to be a season break because the next week there's going to be some form of exploration of that. It's not what happened to Peacemaker. We know where he goes. And to me, that's the most annoying part is you want things to be ramping up, right? It's like a great playlist. You build and you build and you build. And here it was like somebody put in the accordion for 2 songs. And I'm like, wait a minute, how am I like, you're ruining my vibe. So I don't know. I'm disappointed because the earlier episodes for me did such a good job of building out most of the comedy worked and the drama was what was most interesting. And it really seems to have been sidestepped for bad comedy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mike's done.
I still loved the Eagles eating him up. That was fun.
But again, that character's death
daylight
is not built up to be a resolution for anybody, right? Like when Judo Master, to use a different character from the first season, like he sucks and Economos hates him, and there is a victory in Economos being the guy to take down Judo Master, as I mentioned earlier, with Augie being killed by Peacemaker. Red St. Wild serves no narrative purpose, no plot purpose, no emotional center. That character has no function within the structure of this show. And to me, that's the part that I don't appreciate at all.
Yeah.
So the character, there's no release from anybody because Eagle, as Mike said, Eagly's not going to walk up and be like, yo, guess what happened in the forest when you were on the other Earth? He's going to be eating a piece of bologna and not care that Chris is not there.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Eagly went with him.
I don't think so.
The final shot is
He did.
Did he make it through? Okay.
Yeah. Do we have any last thoughts before? I mean, assuming I think we covered
the episode. Yeah, the episode ends with him writing this a very heartfelt letter to the 11th Street Gang, and he takes off to Earth 3 or whatever it's supposed to be. And
Earth X.
Yeah.
Earth X.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. And the gang decides that we're gonna come together and we're gonna bring him back. How did everyone feel about? I mean, I got teary because it was kind of like him being so ready to leave his world behind, like just
a girl.
For a girl, boy, and that girl. What I wonder what that girl thinks of things in that world.
If I have to go to another universe just to get some pussy, there's something wrong here. Something's wrong here.
I'm gay, so I can't relate.
Technically, he did. He just is mad he can't get it again. And now he's going for someone else.
Well, I call that greedy.
And he's entitlement. I think it's entitlement. I think I'm excited to see the 11th Street Gang. It's a good tease, a good cliffhanger. To get to see them like back together and doing what they need to do. They have the little helmet, bucket hat thing from the alien that the
lunchbox from 1984.
Yeah, that thing. So I'm excited that the gang's together, and I think there's a bit of foreshadowing when Adrian, when he goes, I wonder what the other me is like over there, if there's another me over there. And I want so badly for there to be another him, and if it were to be the comic accurate vigilante, and that would be so interesting to see like that version. So they can shut the fanboys up. They're like, we never see the real vigilante, but also would be interesting to see Adrian play off of someone who's like quote unquote.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see I'm actually excited for these last 3 episodes. I think I need to be excited. I need to hold on to that excitement because I cannot let Red St. Wild be the thing that I remember from this season. You? I cannot. I literally.
Okay.
I can't.
I would love to be positively excited for this, but as we've talked about, like they haven't shown us, we don't know.
Yeah.
The Earth, Earth 2X, whatever the parallel Earth. To me, any of those cameos, like seeing Rick Flag in that world, wasn't cool. Like it was cool, but it's not the world we're going to continue to explore. My biggest curiosity is going to be after he comes back, what's that mean? Because that has to be some sort of momentum into Man of Tomorrow, right? Like we can see some wild cameos in Earth 2, but it doesn't really matter. I'm more curious, like what I want to see the story on our Earth. Like how is that resolved?
Mike, any thoughts, any fears, any feelings?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next 3 episodes. I'm just waiting for next week, and let's just get this ball rolling. And I'm just not trying to subvert my expectations. And again, to Vanessa's point, like I gave this a bad review for the 5 episodes I've seen, particularly for the last week's episode, and Tim Meadows' character and the Red Stain Wild character and everything like that was the main thing of residue of these 5 episodes for me. And now you, the audience, are caught up with me, and I'm just waiting just to, hey, let's to enjoy this along with you. Because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of talking about it, to be honest with you. I don't want to,
Yeah.
so it's just,
sometimes as critics, sometimes this is what we got to do. We're not going to love
course,
everything that
I
happens.
understand that.
This is a safe place. I mean, it's definitely not a safe space. Yeah, this is a safe space for critique. It has a lot of good highlights from this season. These are just a lot of things that are just not vibing with us. So hopefully 6, 7, and 8 will be phenomenal. And I'm going to drop a theory. I think that if Adebayo gets to witness any other Earth in any capacity, I wonder if that's where she's going to get the checkmate idea from. Because I'm fully manifesting this theory now. Like, she meets herself in another world, and like where she's like, you're Mena Waller's daughter. You can do shit. Not being some 12 subscriber magazine for escorts or whatever. But that's going to be it. So first. To the talented, the beautiful, the magnificent Vanessa, where can we find you on social media and your other stuff that you do? And yeah, we will gas you up because damn, she is beautiful.
Thanks. You can find me at Vanessa Shark on Instagram and Threads and the other things that I use. Blue Sky, yeah, I guess I'm still on there. Have VanessaShark.com, which I'll be updating at some point. September has been a quiet month. But yeah, I have I'm going to a screening next week for a movie, so I'll probably be covering that. And then I have other stuff on Multiverse of Color coming in soon. Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Oh yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everything at Jedi Mike 7. Brought to you by Solo Media. I got reviews from TIFF. I just came from Toronto International Film Festival. Have reviews for that. Also, I have interviews and stuff I have planned. Going this week, I have Gen V season 2 is premiering this week, and I have my non-spoiler review posting tomorrow when the embargo lifts. And I also have now some of my reviews posted on the Tometer site on Rotten Tomatoes, so that'll be there soon. And I'll send y'all the link so y'all see it and everything. But yeah, you can find me everywhere at Jedi Mike 7.
And Kyle.
So Film Realist is the film and TV podcast from a complete nobody that is hopefully for somebody. When you're hearing this, next week, I am also going to be covering Gen V, as well as a big, bold, beautiful journey with 2 DC alum. So you can look forward to that. So same thing as our lovely hosts. Film Realist is on everything. It's 2 E's, not EA. It's a pun. So thank you so much for having me again for another lovely episode of Peacemaker.
Yes. You can find me at Anime Bite on all social media. I'm a senior writer for Screener.com. On the subject Gen V, I did some interviews with the cast for Multiverse of Colors. That will be up, hopefully, by the time, because I haven't gotten the footage yet, so I'm just waiting to get it back. But I had a great time talking to them. This season is... I'm going to be giving thoughts on that as well. So look forward to that on the site. We will see when I'm back, because by the time episode 6 airs, it will been the week of my surgery. So either I'm going to be hopefully alive, but whether I can sit up or properly not to record, that's a different story. So, but if I'm not here, you have Vanessa, you have Mike, you can hopefully have Kyle, so you're in perfectly more capable hands, because I can't even recap to save shit. So you'll be absolutely fine. But I hopefully, at least by the time the season is ended, I will have been back, depending on what the cover is going to be. And to any, because I saw a lot of listeners and fans who had reached out, thank you for your sweet messages. I'm nervous, but it's time. It's time for change, a good change. Not moving to another world where it might be, just all white people like Chris did, but like a good, healthy change. But yeah, that's going to be for episode 5 of Peacemaker Podcast Season 2. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.